everyone, and welcome back to this series of videos and podcasts on mindset. So today what we're talking about in this short video is a little analogy, if you like, and it is, are you behaving like a bottle or are you behaving like a dolphin? So let me explain. So let's imagine that we've got a bottle and we throw it out into the ocean. So what happens to that bottle? Well, on a calm day, the bottle bobs around in the sun and has a lovely old time. That's terrific. But when the seas are rough, that bottle can get thrown around by all the waves and eventually spat out to shore and broken. So that's the bottle. So are you the bottle or are you the dolphin? So what does the dolphin do? So on a nice day, again, the dolphin plays around happily in the sun and nothing's bothering the dolphin. That's terrific. But on a rough day, the dolphin, that's very different to the bottle, rides with the waves. So when it's a stormy sea, the dolphin never gets spat out onto the shore. The dolphin rides with the waves. So the lesson here with this analogy is, are you the dolphin that's controlling your own environment and controlling what you can control, or are you the bottle that's controlled by the environment? Now let's think back to when we talked about the universal fears. And if your fear that you happen to be having issues with, or that's there in your mind and your heart, is that you're worried all the time about what colleagues are going to say about you, are you more like a bottle or are you more like a dolphin? And I would suggest most of the doctors I meet in that particular arena are very much about being the bottle. They're not taking care of their own destiny. Now, what are some examples? Examples will be, someone will come to me and say, oh no, I won't put that on my website because my colleagues might be highly offended. Now, we're talking about just people even sometimes having a website. My colleagues won't think that that's right to have a website. Before you decide that, you've got to think, am I being controlled by someone else? Is it fair and reasonable? Now, maybe it is. Maybe it's fair and reasonable that you shouldn't have that for whatever context you're working in and so forth. But really think about that. Is it holding you back from making a decision that will put your private practice forward? So when you make decisions like that, or you're indecisive about things, often you are being the bottle. Now, some other examples we can look at. Often when people share sweets with someone else, they like it because if we think back again to the core needs, we think back about people sometimes having a need for certainty. So they like that. They walk in, everything's done, it sounds like it's going to be great. But during your journey at the shared sweets, are you being a bottle with some of the decisions? Are you allowing people to tell you, you can't do this, you can't do A, B and C to the ridiculous? Now it might be that there's some agreements in place and whatever that you have to honour, but are you holding back and are you saying, oh, I don't want to make a business card because she might get offended or this one might think this? Think about if you're making those decisions, because I see this again and again and again, and it's my job to empower you to decide when is it okay to make those decisions. We're not going to go in like a bull at a gate and upset every associate professor that you work for or whatever else is happening in your life. But it's just about making these decisions so that you're moving yourself forward and you're not too worried about what other people do and say. Another example would be, just recently I had a surgeon who, I actually called him the ghost rider. So he'd set up in private practice with 2 other doctors. They'd pretty much kind of bullied him into what he was to do and so forth. And they had a situation in place where the patients hardly even knew who he was. So they might see him at the time, but never built a relationship with him. It was never kind of ongoing. So that would be a clean example or a clear example. Person is being the bottle for fear of offending people around him, and then that's holding him back. So think about you, think about in your own private practice, when are you being the bottle and when are you being the dolphin? So the dolphin, for example, is still going to experience hard times. Staff are going to leave and so forth, but this person is not going to listen to people say, oh, you should now do this. They might listen, but they're not necessarily going to heed that advice. They're going to say, I'm going to make a good decision, what I think is right in my practice, for me as a person, that's meeting my core needs and so forth. So at times, yes, we will be the dolphin, but the dolphin is far more in control of their environment than the bottle will ever hope to be. So I hope that analogy helps you, and you can start saying to yourself, am I being the dolphin here or the bottle? Certainly if you're a VPM and I'm working with you, possibly have heard this already before. and I'll pull you up and say you're being the bottle in this particular case, or well done you, you're being a dolphin. It's not so easy, but you're riding the storm and you're doing it on your own terms. So I hope that's been helpful for you. Again, do some one-on-one mentoring. If these things are really resonating with you, and I'm sure that they are because I know they're resonating with everyone else that I've helped, come and I'll help you through this because it's not an easy journey. Private practice and small business, which is what it is, can be a lonely place to navigate on your own, so you need that support. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video.